Good evening, everyone. Treasure Troller here from the partially mask-wearing militant state of Michigan. So I've done a lot of thinking about Alone, and I really don't know why. This last season really sort of did me in. This starve everybody out thing was almost like a jump the shark for me. But I've tried to come up with think of ways to improve the show, but not really affect, shall we say, the integrity of the game. Still not avoid the Alone hacks. The hacks that are involved in the hacks that you're entitled to use during the game. So if you don't like the idea, that's fine. If you want to criticize the idea, that's fine. But you're not allowed to say budget. You're not allowed to use the excuse as a budget to say no to it. Because we're talking about plus EV, expected value, that doing this, the value would be a good thing in the end. And it has a little bit to do with the items. And see, if you're going to put somebody in the woods, and has them survive, they want to take not only, and you only get 10 items, but I'm assuming they'd want to take the best 10 items. So that's the first thing. So what I was thinking is, although they still can only take 10 items, they bring, shall we say, 13 items to the camp with them. They bring 3 additional items. And then maybe 2 days or 3 days before, I guess you could say, the contest begins, each contestant is dropped off in their location. And they get to spend 8 hours scouting the area that they're going to be in. And during this time, they can do their vagina monologue. They can talk about where they want to set up camp. They can talk about their strategy. You got 10 contestants. That's roughly for the show, at the very least, like six minutes for vagina monologue, scouting their areas, talking about where their camp's going to be. And then when they get back, after their 8 hours, they're not allowed to do anything as far as, they can't take anything with them. I guess they could move logs if they so choose. But they're not allowed to take any equipment other than their camera equipment. And I guess that'd be kind of nice that they had to get rid of that shit on the 2 days prior. Maybe they could take their camera gear, get that stowed away a couple days prior to leaving, so they don't have so much shit on day one. But they come back to the camp, and after assessing their area that they're going to be in, they can remove and replace, shall we say, one item from their 10 with one of those additional items that they brought. Some of them may not be taking the bow anymore. Some of them may take more fishing line. Maybe they'll just take an extra pot. But at the very least, they're taking, for the most part, the 10 items that they want to take. And that they had a little bit of a feel for the area. So it doesn't really affect the game. It doesn't affect the integrity. It certainly doesn't affect the starvation strategy. But it may affect some other areas about whether they want to fish, or if they're going to gamble on, well, I'm going to stay until it freezes over. But it may add a little bit of an element, plus that time allows them to get all that vagina monologue out of the way. So that way, when it starts week 1, the filming, I guess you could say, the competition is on. So that would be one of the changes that I would make. I feel they're a little bit hamstrung with, here's my 10 items, these are what I'm going to take, and then they get there and they realize that maybe I should have taken something different. So I think allowing them to switch out an item that they feel would best suit them in the competition would be an advantage that isn't really an advantage. And it doesn't affect the overall playing out of the game or the competition. And we get all that ridiculous talk, for the most part, out of them the very first episode. And then we have to just listen to them after about 2 weeks cry about how they miss home. But I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for the wife to tell the husband, if you tap out because you're homesick, I'm filing for divorce. I want that one. I want to see that happen. That one right there is the winner. I want to see that happen. So this is Treasure Troller saying alone and good night.